English Each Day presents Rising Above, the story of Leah's journey. I was born in a small, rundown neighborhood where opportunities were scarce and dreams felt impossible. My name is Leah, and my story is one of struggle, resilience, and triumph. My childhood was tough. My mother worked 2 jobs just to keep food on the table, and my father had left when I was only 3. Our tiny apartment had peeling wallpaper, a leaking ceiling, and barely enough space for me and my younger brother, Lucas. At school, things weren't much better. I was often bullied for wearing secondhand clothes and never having the latest school supplies. I remember one day when a girl in my class, Sophie, laughed at my torn sneakers, whispering to her friends, "She looks like she found those in the trash." I wanted to disappear, but despite everything, my mother always told me, "Your future isn't written by where you start, but by where you decide to go." School became my escape. I found comfort in books, reading about faraway lands, inspiring heroes, and people who had overcome struggles like mine. But there were days when reality hit hard. There were nights when the electricity was cut off, and I had to study by candlelight. There were mornings when my stomach ached from hunger, but I still had to go to school and pretend everything was fine. One teacher, Mrs. Garcia, saw something in me that no one else did. She once pulled me aside and said, "Leah, you are one of the brightest students I've ever taught. Don't let your circumstances define you." Her words stayed with me. As I grew older, life at home became harder. My mother lost her second job, and I had to help care for Lucas. At the same time, the pressure at school increased. One day, I overheard my classmates talking about applying for college. College! I had never even considered it. How could I afford something so impossible? When I mentioned it at home, my mother looked at me with sad eyes and said, "I wish I could send you, Leah, but we just don't have the money." For the first time, I felt like giving up. Then something unexpected happened. Mrs. Garcia helped me apply for a scholarship. I spent weeks writing essays, studying harder than ever, and attending every free tutoring session I could find. One afternoon, as I walked home from school, my phone buzzed. It was an email from the scholarship committee. My hands shook as I clicked it open. "Congratulations! You have been awarded a full academic scholarship." Tears streamed down my face. For the first time, I felt that my life was about to change. Moving to college was terrifying. I was surrounded by students who had grown up in wealthy neighborhoods, who had never worried about their next meal. I often felt out of place, but I reminded myself, I earned my place here. I worked part-time as a waitress to support myself. There were nights when I barely slept, balancing work, school, and the stress of being away from home. But every struggle made me stronger. There were moments when I wanted to quit, when a professor's harsh feedback made me question my abilities, or when I saw other students enjoying luxuries I had never known. But then I would think of Lucas, of my mother, of Mrs. Garcia. I was doing this for them as much as for myself. 4 years later, I walked across the graduation stage, holding my diploma tightly. The cheers of my mother and Lucas echoed in my ears. I had done it. I got my first job at a marketing firm, working tirelessly to prove myself. Over time, I climbed the ladder, earning promotions, respect, and finally, financial stability. After years of living in crowded apartments, I finally moved into my own home. It wasn't a mansion, but it was mine. A quiet place, filled with love, and my 2 rescue cats, Leo and Bella. Sitting on my couch, sipping tea, with my cats curled beside me, I finally felt at peace. Leah's story is one of resilience, determination, and success. If you've ever felt like life is too hard, remember, heavy checkmark your past does not define your future. Heavy checkmark every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Heavy checkmark small steps lead to big achievements. If Leah's journey inspired you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to English each day. Let us know in the comments, what's your biggest dream? Keep pushing forward. Your story is still being written.